He's just legs! I definitely remember Dad having a top part.
I found Onward to be one of Disney's more intriguing animated films to be released in recent years. Not only was it produced by Pixar, but it's set in a world that features many traditional fantasy elements. Things like magic, elves, centaurs, giant mushrooms, and pretty much any piece of fantasy that you can think of makes up the world of Onward. I'm a complete sucker for these kinds of settings, and I was immediately pulled in when Onward was first revealed. Onward is a story about two brothers, Ian and Barley, who are on a quest to bring their dead father back so they can spend one last day with him. The spell initially doesn't work, only bringing back their father's legs, and they have 24 hours to complete the spell so that they can see him one last time. It's quite possibly the most predictably sad movie of all time. The brother's father died when Barley was very young and before Ian was born. So there are an abundance of themes as it relates to one child dealing with the loss of their parent and the other dealing with never having met their parent at all. It's a very sad movie that carries a lot of heavy scenes about the loss of their father, but the bond between the two brothers is at the heart of the story, and while it's a bit predictable, the ending did catch me a little bit by surprise. I absolutely love the world of Onward. Pixar took a very traditional fantasy world and flipped it upside down, developing it into a modern society that replaced magic with technology to the point where the magic disappeared from the world. And Barley, the older brother, is super into Onward's version of Dungeons & Dragons, which is based on the magical history of the world. And as the brothers progress through their quest, loosely following the rules of Dungeons & Dragons, some of the magic is later restored to the world. The movie leaves the world in a state that would make me very excited to see what a potential sequel could look like if Pixar ever chooses to pursue one. The brothers were great characters, which is in large part due to how well Tom Holland and Chris Pratt play off of each other. They were great in their few scenes together in Avengers Infinity War, and that chemistry carried over into Onward. The rest of the characters were just okay. The Manticore, the mother, and the mother's boyfriend were fine side characters, but there wasn't really anyone who stood out, which more or less sums up the movie. The world, brothers, and Dungeons & Dragons style of adventure are great, while everything else is just sort of there, and it plays into why Onward is so damn sad. I'm totally fine with sad and emotional themes in animated movies. In fact, I think animated movies pull these sorts of things off better than most movies do, but because there wasn't really anything in particular on the side that stood out, Onward never really has a chance to breathe and just beats you over the head with sadness. It's too strong to say that it felt cheap or manufactured, but it's almost like the movie was built around the idea of just breaking your heart repeatedly for an hour and 43 minutes. It didn't ruin the movie for me, but it was very noticeable. Onward is very predictable, but it's a good movie and I liked it. Don't ask me to rank it against other Pixar movies because they're all really good and I suck at ranking things. It's not the best Pixar movie, but it's not near the bottom of the list either, so it's somewhere in the middle. I can't get enough of Tom Holland and Chris Pratt together, so I'm totally on board if Pixar wants to create a sequel and further develop this world, because I loved it and I would like to see what a different kind of story in this world would look like.